And he lived his life in such a way that he found favor. Because that was his view. God's with me. So whether or not he's 17 or 45, it doesn't make any difference here. He found favor how? Somehow, I don't know, but I think being faithful. But do you find God's favor by being unfaithful? I'm asking for answers. I don't think so. I don't see it anywhere. But God gave him favor with the people around him by whether he was in the pit or the palace. He was faithful. He still proved out that he belonged to God. Didn't he? Seems that way.
So much so that it was clear to an unbeliever.
Clear to those looking, right? He found favor with those people.
In Greg, the second half of verse 3, right, it says, the Lord caused all that he did to prosper in his hands. Anytime, anything we do that prospers, it's not, yeah, we gotta be faithful, we gotta do the things, be obedient. I can limit God's favor by sinning, but if I'm faithful, God still causes the increase. It's God doing it all through him.
I completely believe that, 100%. It's not about us. It never has been. It never will be. It's all him. Everything, every blessing I've ever had came from him. And it's not because I was good or did anything, because my righteousness is as filthy rags. So I didn't do anything to deserve it. But I believe that if you're living your life according to Scripture, purposefully, that you're going to find favor from God more than if you were not doing that. Am I saying that right? Yes, ma'am?
I've found that I can hear him better. I'm more conscious of his favor. I see the blessings when I'm faithful, when I'm not mad at him. I can see the things that we miss when we're mad at him.
Right.
I see and I'm grateful, and therefore I see more of what he's doing. And I think just seeing is the main blessing.
Right.
When we're focused on him, our vision's totally different.
That's right. That's right. So, well, I mean, there's proof in Scripture that being faithful finds God's favor. There's proof. King Hezekiah. Was that in your DDG this week? King Hezekiah? Is he in there? I mean, he's this faithful king. He's an ancestor of David. I think he's 2 Kings, somewhere around 18. Dan, are you looking him up?
I have no idea. It's in the Bible.
Well, one, yeah, look it up. King Hezekiah. Okay, so he fell ill. He fell ill. The prophet Isaiah told him to set his house in order. Yes? Yes. Read your book. That's what he does. He comes and he says, "You're about to die, so put your house in order." Hezekiah turned his face to the wall, alone in that adversity, to face God. And he said, "Now, O Lord, please remember how I have walked before you in faithfulness and with a whole heart, and have done what is good in your sight." He wept, but he did not lose faith, and the Lord added 15 years to his life. So faithfulness finds favor. Okay? It's proof in the Bible. There's more than that, too. You know, I mean, look at Mary's life. You know, she was faithful.
Noah.
She was the mother of the Christ. Right? So, listen, here's an essential doctrine of Scripture that I'm going to say in Greg terms. You've heard me say it in here before, okay? So you can't read it like this in the Bible. But when God's omnipresent, it means that he was, is, and always will be all at the same time. You can't wrap your brain around that. Don't even try. But he is. So he's omnipresent. He's always there wherever you are, whether you're going through adversity or not. Somehow, you have to keep your focus where he's there. Not easy. It's not an easy thing to do, but you can be intentional about it. Somehow. It's tough, guys. I'm speaking from experience. It's not easy, but when you don't know what to do, what do?
We do what you want.
Do what you know to do. Remain faithful. Don't go your own way. He wants you to go his way. He's with us even when we can't sense it. That's the whole point. Okay, so if you look at, it's not really in the lesson this week, but we're asked to read all of the scripture here. 9 through 18, where does that lead us? What's the information here, 9 through 18? Potiphar's wife, right? She's a hotsy-totsy, and she's chasing him around the house. Yes? Yeah.
Well, all Potiphar's
She-
really interested in is his food.
Yeah,
So-
certainly, yeah.
Joseph's young and pretty.
Yeah, it says. It says that he's beautiful of form. Yes?
I think that's great.
Huh?
I like that little.
I was fixing to give it to you, but I backed off. Didn't want to lead y'all's minds other places. I couldn't anyway. Beautiful of form and appearance. Does it say that about him? Okay, so she's hot on his trail. She wants him to lie with her. Okay, let's just be straight. Says it, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Says it.
More than
Hey,
once.
Potiphar's not around, you know? I like you. I want you to come into my chamber, bedchamber. All right, that's what she's doing. She's chasing him down. You know, and God, there's too many jokes in my head. Gotta just keep moving. So, anyway, he did not fall prey to her wiles, right? He ran from her. She grabbed him on his clothes, and boy, he took off without them out the door. He ran from the sin. And what does it say? What does it say? What is one of those words that it says there about it? It says something about, I will not sin against God. Now, so he knows that God has shown favor here, and Potiphar has. He's shown favor through Potiphar. So first of all, I'm not going to sin against my God. It's the wrong thing to do, and I'm not going to sin against Potiphar. He's placed me here. Okay? So that's basically where we are. Somebody real quickly. Boy, we got to hurry up. Somebody read 19 through 23.
When his master heard the story, his wife told him, saying, "This is how your slave treated me. He burned with anger." Joseph's master took him and put him in prison, the place where the king's prisoners were confined. But while Joseph was in there in the prison, the Lord was with him. He showed him kindness and granted him favor in the eyes of the prison warden. So the warden put Joseph in charge of all those held in the prison, and he was made responsible for all that was done there. The warden paid no attention to anything under Joseph's care, because the Lord was with Joseph and gave him success in whatever he did.
Okay, so incredible circumstances that he's going through here. First of all, she lied on him. And Potiphar, even though he kind of knew that he was a pretty faithful guy, he throws him in the dungeon anyway. Yes? Kind of believes his wife, but probably Potiphar thinks, I can't get another hot one like this, so I think I'm just going to chunk this dude in, whether I think he did it or not.
Ego.
I don't know. All in my head doesn't say that. We don't know. But that's what I do. I read.
We don't know if she was good looking or 75 years old.
I picture good looking.
I'm thinking she's probably nice looking,
picture
but it
you
doesn't say
back
that. You're exactly right.
Yeah, mine says well.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with 75 though. I've seen some good looking.
He's sort of pretty.
Sophia Loren.
The leader, he didn't put him in a dungeon.
Huh? It's okay. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, he didn't put him in the dungeon, like in the worst place. Put him in a special, separate.
Special place.
For the king's prisoners.
The
Right.
king's, yeah, a special one. First,
Like you said, if he was 70, if she was 75, no wonder he ran.
Hey, if she had done this with Joseph, he probably knows she's probably trying to.
Done it before.
Yeah, okay, so let's quickly move to prison. Okay, you're Joseph, you're in prison, okay? What are the other prisoners seeing in you?
You're,
Treated
yeah,
special.
you're different, you're being treated special, you're successful, and he's following
And you're faithful.
They're seeing him faithful in the pit. Okay, whether it's a dungeon or a locked door, it doesn't matter. He can't go anywhere else but right there, and he's stuck there for at least 2 years, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna be. So you think about it, here you are, you're in the pit, you have no idea. You know nobody's looking for you. They're not gonna come rescue you out of this. Something's gotta happen in here so that you get shown some kind of favor. But you don't know that's gonna happen. You have no idea. You're 17 years old or so here. I don't know how old he is now. But you're still just a young guy, and you're in prison, and all these prisoners are around you, okay? But somehow,
He's different.
he has the mind and the heart set to remain faithful. You don't get shown favor. Can God get somebody to show you favor, whether you're faithful or not? Yes. He can do whatever he chooses to do. But in my mind and heart, I believe that he's being faithful here, where he is. He's around a bunch of other prisoners, and yet he finds favor. Right? So in the pit or the palace, are you faithful? In both places. Easy to say, hard to do. But Joseph, teenager, was able to do it.
That's why when you read this, I feel like his mindset was, even though he had been sold by his brothers and all that, that he never felt alone. He always felt God was with him. And so he was different.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about one thing. Let's clear something up right now, okay? He didn't get God's favor just because he was faithful. He got God's favor because God is kind. Right? It's due to God's kindness. And our response to his kindness is faithfulness. That's what that's supposed to be. Kindness from God is never deserved. It is always an act of grace and mercy. Always. I'm not saying you can control God. You cannot. Never
But he
think you can.
recognized it.
Exactly. But our response should be faithfulness. Am I saying that right? We are to live, just like you've heard, since you started coming to church, with an attitude of gratitude. Right? In response to his kindness and faithfulness. We've got to somehow find a way to remain faithful. Let's go ahead and read the next set of scriptures. I was going to do the thing in the DDG where how you respond when you're treated unjustly, but that's going to chase a rabbit. Because I don't always respond right when I'm treated unjustly. I'm looking for vengeance at times. Let me just be honest. Yeah? How do you tend to respond when you see injustice toward others? It depends on who that other person is. I respond. I mean, I've done things that have been dangerous that I shouldn't have done in bad neighborhoods where I see somebody getting beat up and I fly up in that parking lot anyway and jump out of the truck. And I didn't know anybody. I've done that before. When I see somebody being treated unjustly, something bold, builds up in me that's probably stupid, and somebody's surrounded by 5 or 6 other guys. It worked out. I didn't get hurt or killed. Okay, so real quickly, let's jump to 41. There's a lot of scripture that we're leaving out here, okay? Everything that went on in prison. At some point, Pharaoh's chief cupbearer and the chief baker hacked him off, and so he threw them in there too, in prison, right? The guy made a bad cupcake, I don't know, and the cupbearer picked out some sorry wine. He got Ripple from the 7-Eleven, and it wasn't any good.